Hey, how you guys doing? I'm back, and I'm doing another one of these, developer commentary things on my abstraction map, Time Destroys Everything. I normally don't like to do more than two of these in a row, but I feel like this is the kind of map that warrants a bit of, I don't want to say explanation, but I guess context. So, that's what I'm here to do now. Um, I got first place, but I don't really know how I did. A lot of things went horribly wrong with this map. Um, Mostly because I made it over one very tired night. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. The primary inspirations that I was taking for it were from and I think I actually put this in the README. I took inspiration quite a bit from a film called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'd say it's pretty well known. I like it quite a lot, and I thought that the idea of running through memories, being chased by something trying to destroy those memories was just a really cool idea, and I wanted to do something like that in this this lens, I guess, like the Half-Life idea. So I'm gonna pause that really quick. The other inspiration that I had quite a bit of from was I guess just like the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 2, the one with the clock. I don't know, I've always really loved that video. I think it's really funny and also really disturbing at the same time, which I really love. So yeah, that was kind of my primary inspirations here. So as you could probably hear at the start, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it over my voice, but at the start of the map there's like a tick-tock sound, and originally I wanted to have that play throughout the entire map at a very kind of low volume, but part of me also felt like it might be pretty annoying for some people, and the other part of me couldn't get it to work. It wouldn't loop, and apparently no sounds in base Half-Life 2 or in any of the games that I've taken sounds from and put them in my folder actually have a looping ticking sound. I don't know why, and I tried using like a logic timer to do it, but it just ended up not working right for the opposite reason. It was looping too frequently, even when I made it so that it wouldn't do that, but whatever. It's fine. So you hear a tick-tock at the beginning, and I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. This area is very under-detailed. That's literally just like a blackness behind there, which doesn't really look right. Yet again, I ran out of time. It's supposed to be kind of like Nova Prospect, and the idea was that these Combine soldiers are like, I don't know, time people or something, and they're like, because the map name is Time Destroys Everything, so my idea was like, oh, you know, at the end of the day, everything, you know, nothing lasts forever, and therefore I guess you could make the argument that like time itself is destroying things, and the Combine are supposed to be, I guess, symbolic of that. It's kind of dumb, but I mean, I was really tired when I made this, and I was just kind of, this was what was going through my head at the time, and I was thinking I wanted to put some kind of, I guess, like, theme or ideas into this, because when you just make an abstract map that's just weird, I mean, that can be cool, but I mean, I think that it's oftentimes better when there's, I guess, reason to come back to it, because it offers a sense of, I guess, thematic point. I'm not necessarily saying that this map does that, because I think it's kind of obvious and even a bit pretentious, to be honest, in how it's presented, but that's what I was trying to do at the very least. So yeah, we get in the chair, it says forget, in the same font as the signs in Source Child Radius, because I was way too lazy to do it a different way. So yeah, it's like supposed to be almost like one of those things where if you've seen the film like A Clockwork Orange before, where it's like they have like the eyes open and it's like showing them images to, you know, I guess brainwash them. That's kind of what I was doing here, I guess. So now here's when we start to get into stuff that's a bit weirder. So this is, I actually probably mentioned this in the Map Labs Discord, but this is actually a, I would say, kind of accurate representation of my room. I mean, it's obviously much more detailed and also much more messy than this in real life, but I mean, this is where my primary furniture is. However, there are quite a few issues. First of all, this is supposed to be a lampshade. You can see it over here. This is supposed to be like a lampshade, but I forgot to change it to dynamic override prop, and it's this prop static prop, and apparently lampshades don't compile as prop static. I was not aware of that. So in the last minute, I changed, I guess, one of them, and I forgot to change the other. So yeah, now it's just a stick. One of the issues with this is also supposed to be a TV. There's no screen. I forgot to add the screen. There's supposed to be another one of these things right here, with this thing, you know, on top of it. This door is completely way too small, and it's not even aligned right. This is supposed to be a shelf, not just a random block of wood. It's not a shelf, because there's no shelves. So yeah, you can see what I mean. This whole area, I think, is probably my least favorite part of the entire thing, especially also because you can hear zombies in the background. Kind of takes away from the illusion. Also, I do not have a portal poster right here in my room. That's just not there. And it also especially would not be glowing if it existed. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna hop onto here. I could not find like a computer tower model. I could have sworn there was one in Half-Life. I guess it's maybe just in Portal, but yeah, I just used this thing. Alright, so here we are inside of Half-Life 1. Now, this is supposed to be like the test chamber, which I'm sure you already know if you're watching this. Believe it or not, there's actually quite a few Half-Life 1 textures just built into Half-Life 2 because of that part, like, at the very beginning in Train Station 1 where you actually see, like, this area. And that's just what I copied. I just went to Train Station 1, copied this area, and this is it right here. Some of the things are a little different, like there's not models in the original Half-Life. Things like that. This is also something I just noticed that is broken. That's lovely. And there's also no soundscapes. I actually had to delete all the entities in this area and then recreate some of them because for some reason it was just completely broken, and I don't really know why when I copied it. So, whatever. I probably also should have made this ladder work because it kind of is weird when you try to go up it over here. And you don't. I mean, yeah, it's a small detail. I don't think anyone actually tried to go up it, but it would have been nice either way. So you get the freedom texture. That's the texture that I use in literally every single map I make, pretty much. Just because it's so, I guess, reusable. Because it's just an arrow, and it's nice to use arrows when you can, even though it's not the best way to guide players, but whatever. Alright. Hopefully this music is not too loud. Compared to my voice, because that would be bad. So as you can see, that sign just changed. That you didn't see it, but whatever. See all the dev textures and so it's like your memory is falling apart. I put 4 crowbars here because I was worried the player would miss them. And I wanted these to actually be the ones you would pick up, but for some reason I couldn't get like it to shoot out actual weapons. Instead, it just had to be the model, so whatever. And I actually probably need to do a little bit of an explanation on this thing. So, of the primary things that I wanted to focus on in this map was also like just nostalgia in general, and how a lot of things, kind of this map to a certain extent included, are just going to be fan service and like, hey, remember this? And the one part that I always remember from Half-Life 2 that is just like that is the, hey, I think you dropped this back in Black Mesa, and drops the crowbar, and like, oh yeah, it's the crowbar from the first game, that's cool. And this is almost supposed to be like a, I guess like a jokish critique of that kind of way of creating something, because it's like, like art is supposed to be a form of expression, and expression can be related to speech. So like the guy over here is like spitting crowbars, almost like someone who's just creating things that are just, you know, reminiscent of Half-Life and nothing else. It's supposed to be I don't know. This is what I was thinking it was supposed to be when I created it, at the very least. I added the chow time thing there for no particular reason. I just thought it was funny. So yeah, that was the, I guess, meaning, quote unquote, behind this guy here. Right. So now we're just gonna go into here. So, I'm sure you already know this is the end of episode 2, and that's kind of the whole point of this map, is, like, you're going through the, as I said before, like, the memories of Half-Life, that you have, and, you know, that's why you hear Eli say, "Close your eyes, honey," and I originally actually wanted to have, like, a whole thing going on over here, where you could, like, see Alex, like, crying and stuff, but yet again, didn't get around to it. And I also added those arrows there just to make sure it was obvious from over there that this is where you're supposed to go. And there's another problem with this, is that I didn't realize that teleporters actually conserve your momentum pretty well. And if you were running into that white, you would have fallen off of this before you could get these weapons. I saw a couple people do that. My bad. So, yeah, step on these. This is actually like an area that I built for an idea I had for Cromulentville 2, if that was ever going to be a thing, because I really wanted to make one of those maps. Because as I'm sure you all know, I really do like making joke maps. But I used most of those ideas in the creator instead of in anything else. This is like one of the few ideas that I actually saved instead of using it in the thing. And I just decided I'd use it for this challenge because I don't think I'll ever get a chance to again. So the idea is that you step on these.
As long as we don't step on their grubs, they shouldn't hear us this far.
You hear that, so you're like, okay, you're thinking subconsciously, this is going to create antlions. And also, these were supposed to turn green after every single, like, thing that you touch. But, yet again, didn't get around to it. Whoops. So yeah, you're supposed to just step on all these. And then all the antlions come out. Ah! And then we can go to Portal. And it's all turning into Forget. And this guy up here was originally supposed to be like pressing buttons that would like blow things up, and it was gonna be like a whole thing, but I didn't get around to it yet again. Oh, and would you look at that? There's some Z clipping. I didn't even see that before. Believe it or not, it's actually really easy to make something that looks like Portal in Half-Life 2, because these textures are already in the game. These textures are already in the game, and to make these larger ones, I just increased the texture scale. This texture isn't perfect, but it's close to the Portal 1 floor, and this is just something from real-world textures that I found that look pretty close to the floor. It does look more like a Portal 2 floor, and the rest of this is more Portal 1, but, I mean, whatever. It's about the best that you could really get. So yeah, here's the portal, and boom, jump through, you get the portal sound. It's actually 2 sounds. I found that kind of weird. This area was really just added as filler, to be honest, because I wanted the song to end right when you got to the big finale part that's going to come up soon. Um, Obviously, it's not going to end there for everyone. You know, it's already ended for me because I'm going much slower. But I wanted it to be just kind of like the average area where it would end. So yeah, now we're in Hammer, and it's telling you to forget it too, because the idea was that you know, you're going through, I guess, like a normal progression of a Half-Life fan's, I guess, I don't want to say life, but, you know, experience with the Valve games. So you start out with Half-Life 1, obviously, then you go to Half-Life 2, then Episode 2, then Portal, and then you even start making your own map. So it's supposed to be, I guess, that journey of going through all those games and then eventually getting around to actually being inside of the editor, which is here. And you're also forgetting your memories inside of the editor. And then we go even farther in this part. So I did originally want pretty much like all the map lab stuff to be here, as well as all the One Thing Shoot Live stuff, but I didn't, as I've said this many times, but I didn't get around to it again. So yeah, you got a couple things here, and then Run Thing Shoot Live in 2019, because that was a pretty big event. This is literally, this hallway is just the same thing as the hallway from my map Postmortem that's outside of the like hospital room thing. So yeah, and you got all the people here. Chris actually mentioned in the Discord that his photo was like the graffiti version, Toki's wasn't, and he was wondering what was up with that. And what actually happened was I had forgot to add Chris until the last minute, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I actually had to put him in this, because that would be kind of weird if I put Toki in well, I know Wally's on here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Put the two of them in there, and I didn't put Chris in there. So I just put the graffiti in there because I didn't really have time to actually get his photo. So yeah, my bad about that. And there's Frag. So yeah, I expect I expect to be put in an OVM map now, Frag. I'm just kidding, of course. But so yeah, that's the idea of this. Is that you're even forgetting these memories, and there's me, or at least my Discord photo that I've literally had for the longest time at this point. You don't really even need these chargers here, but they are here, just because whatever. Because they were in the post-mortem thing, and it was supposed to be, I guess, like a callback to that. And also, there was originally supposed to be, like, tons of clocks on this wall, and clocks outside here and all over the floor, and it was going to be, like, a ticking sound and all that. But, yet again, I compiled them on Drop Static, and once I got into the map, I completely forgot they were even supposed to be there, so I didn't notice that I had fucked it up. And I only noticed it just now. So, yeah. Whoops. So here we are in here. I think the info player start thing was a bad choice, because the info player start's kind of a meme, and this is supposed to be, I guess, like a bit more of a serious moment. I wanted it to also be like the Half-Life logo. That was my original way of doing it, but for some reason I can't remember why. It didn't really work out right. So I just kind of thought, okay, what can I put here? That would be good enough. Info player start. Good enough. So yeah, you have subject, your memories changes from the post-mortem map. I hope your memories reach 20 plus. I get the impression that there are some people who are a little younger than that, including myself, but yeah, that was the idea. So you press this button, and you kill the memories, and then the floor collapses. Apparently the ceiling does too, because what? I guess it's a good thing I surrounded this area with a freaking hollowed out box. That's when you know you're well optimized in your map, when you have to surround it with a whole friggin' box. Yeah, so this area, if you don't recognize it, is from my Minimalismville map Rooms, which was the first thing I ever submitted to One Thing Shoot Live, and as far as I'm aware, the first thing I ever released, at least in the Half-Life community. So yeah, this is the I would like to say famous, but not really, famous room where Like this whole wall was just built up of like fizz boxes, and you would take a grenade from this thing because you'd actually start on this side. You'd take a grenade, and I actually accidentally put this facing the wrong way in the original version, but I left it that way for this just because I wasn't gonna change it. Um, and you would destroy it, and then your just computer would die because there were so many goddamn fizz boxes that it would just explode. So I wanted to make a little callback to that because this is supposed to be almost like a culmination of everything that I've done in the Half-Life community. In fact, I was even considering making this my last map that I ever entered, but I enjoy this too much to do that, so I think that won't be the case. So I also obviously did have the wall, actually built in the way that would be laggy because, people who didn't understand the reference would just be annoyed. And then even people who did understand the reference would probably find it pretty annoying, to be honest. And I put my name here really just because I actually wanted to have like a title card thing at the end that would be like flashing and synced to some song like the Apprehension and Evasion, maybe like the end of Apprehension and Evasion, just reprised, including my name, but yet again didn't get around to it. Might do it for the Steam release, and also if you want to be included in that that photo thing, with the like surrounding the Run Things Shoot Live in 2019 post. Just I guess send me a message and I can put you in because I forgot lots of people that I wanted to put in. Not even just forgot, but wasn't able to get around to because I did this all, as I said before, in one night. And I really was like just done. I wanted to put everybody in the entire Map Labs Discord into there, but that's quite a lot of people. So if you want to be in it and you are in it, just send me a message and I will most certainly add it. I also got a little bit worried about copyright issues with that because some people have photos from things that could get me in trouble if I put it in a map and it gets released on Steam. So there was that issue as well. So anything that felt like it was copyrighted, I just ignored because I didn't want to take that chance. But yeah, so then you just walk into this door, you get hit by the Combine soldier, and that's the end. So I hope you enjoyed this, I guess, look at what I made here. A lot of people seem to really like it. Oh yeah, and there's the background map too. Yeah, I made this background map in like the last second before the deadline because I had already submitted and I remembered. Oh yeah, I have I need to make a background map for this because I said I was going to. So I just did it again. I just did it in like the last hour, threw it together, forgot textures everywhere. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this like look at the map. It's definitely not perfect, but I think a lot of people enjoyed it. So if you did, I'm glad, and I hope you enjoyed this developer commentary. Bye.